platform where we look at major newspaper stories in Cameroon and some selected African countries. The weekend has been awash with lots of news, particularly the controversial one about the crowning or the title given to Cameroon's Football Federation President Samuel Eto'o by one of his friends in the Northwest region. The Northwest House of Chiefs came up to dissociate itself from the move, just as funds residents here in the economic capital, Douala. But Chief Joe Wilson has kicked against their motion, insisting that he has all the rights to decorate Samuel Eto'o as the Intumfoin and not for of funds, as propagated by some bloggers and even news organs and personalities. We shall be looking into that as our teaser for today. Not leaving out the fact that the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development was in the Northwest region to launch the rice value chain. We shall look at that. That story also has been carried out by some newspapers, not leaving out the situation of decentralization in the country. Out of Cameroon, the situation in Nigeria still remains dire as long as concerning the cost of fuel in the country. We shall be looking into that. And Nana Akufo-Addo says his last words after leaving his first statement after leaving the presidency and handing over last week to John Mahama. Without wasting much time, we shall also tell you about the big day in America. Donald Trump is returning to the White House as the 47th president. We shall be looking at the stakes and challenges for Americans as well as Africans, what Africa should look up to. Time we introduce our regular man on the house, Henry Kejan. Good morning and a great week start.
Thank you very much, Peter. Good morning to you. I was expected to receive in fact, for you to address me as such with my traditional title.
We know that you're coming with two titles very soon.
Yes, one is coming from Abat, that will be from Imojok subdivision. The chief there has asked, in fact, says he will give me a title.
Yeah.
And another one too is coming from the Northwest region too. And then in fact, it has even delayed because of my contributions that I made in the Menchum division. I was supposed to be given this title a long time ago. And I think this is the time now I should pick the title because I've made a lot of contributions in the Menchum division, reporting about the problems of the people of Lake Nyos. You know, at one point in time, they even thought I was a child from Menchum division.
Menchum.
Yes, because I have a mastery of the geography of that division and the geography of all the villages, the streams, the rivers, the lakes, name it, the waterfalls and homes. If you just tell me a village, I'll indicate where you are. So I'm talking about the coaching. I have a master of coaching. When I moved to Aba, I moved to the Fungom, going down to Benokuma. I know all those places. I moved down to Yemge. I disappeared. No network. I went to Palenyos. Okay, I slept in the palace of Fontainebleau, the 9th. I was supposed to even be given another title there. Even for Aneng Francis was supposed to give me another title based on my contributions I made. So I don't think, and those titles were coming from autonomous fundoms. If you want to call it that way.
Let's hope that your two titles will not be controversial like that of Samuel Eto'o. Let's delve into it. What has really triggered this controversy? Because from Joe Wilson decided to, count Samuel Eto'o, but immediately that was done. First of all, the news that was propagated was that it was funds of funds. Do you think first of all, the spread of fake news is the cause of all this?
Yes, I think so. Peter, with your permission, you remember I was the first to put the record straight. Yeah. And when some bloggers said funds of funds, I had to put the record straight. And so at the debate, we triggered the debate. Well, that is a problem with fake news. That is a problem when you don't gather information, you don't treat information. That is a problem when you sit in your bedroom and on your computer, you start reporting things that you don't know.
No, you don't know.
And it equally takes some savvy to have a mastery of how those things operate. And if you don't know, you will write anything and you will set confusion. I think first thing is because it's fake news. And so, and the fake news actually shook the Northwest.
Yeah.
as Northwest Chief.
The Northwest House of Chiefs.
House of Chiefs. It shook the Northwest House of Chiefs. And then now it put a lot of people in conflicts. People have been burning their pixels over the weekend, right up till now as we speak. We are still burning the pixels and trying to put things straight. But I think it is, the genesis is as a result of fake news.
Because the bloggers propagated that it was crowned for some funds. So and later even some sports journalists, picked up the news and...
Good. And you see, even in the wires, in Europe have equally picked up that news. Now, if the initial blogger had gathered his information, treated well, that wouldn't have even caused any problem, anything to anyone.
Or just the fact that he had been given a title.
Yes, by Chief or His Royal Highness Fonju Wilson of Coaching. It wouldn't have created any problem. But once they said fund of funds. Now the funds too, and I'll keep repeating, communication is a very vital ingredient. A very vital ingredient. In fact, there was a problem of communication. That is the beginning of, that's another development of the story, rather. Yeah. Communication is very vital. The funds too, I'm very sorry to say this, but it's a fact. The funds too do not have advisors in their communications department. They too just jumped into it and started ranting. That is the problem. And then the first disclaimer that came from, I think, some three funds. From Bafmen and
funds residents in Douala.
Yes. So you see, they too, there's a problem of communication. You hear something.
There was no letterhead in their statement.
No letterhead in their own.
At the point in time, most media professionals doubted whether they were really the ones that wrote it.
Yes, they doubted whether they were really the ones. Because they can even if they are the ones, they can still deny that fact.
Yeah, because there was no letterhead.
No letterhead.
And yeah.
Good. So call Wilson. But Mbe, we are hearing this. What is happening? Mbe, we explained. So, no, Master, I give him Tumfo. And it ends there. They would now even come to even buttress the fact that no, His Royal Highness Fonju Wilson of Coaching Village, gave it to the title as in Tumfo. And I should be able, okay, as a friend to Eto and this and that. It's normal, and let him be the spokesperson for, because Eto is not the only Tumfo in coaching.
Yeah.
That is all people do not understand. You can even have 15 Tumfos.
Yes. And
all the Tumfos, I mean, in one village. Yes. And all the Tumfos will have different roles to play.
Different roles to play.
Yes. In Tum for this, in Tum for that, in Tum for this. So there's a problem of communication. Then now at the level of the Northwest House of Chiefs too, there was a problem of communication. What does it take for Yakum Kevin to call Fonju
Wilson?
Simple, but we are hearing this. Is it? It's simple. So there is arrogance because we don't want to communicate. It breeds arrogance, and then it now leads to, it pushed the people now, the funds in conflict. Yeah. And now look at the reaction. Okay, first of all, look at the letter that the Northwest Fund or the president wrote. Yeah. There was a lot of, to me, there's a lot of disregard to another fundum. We don't do that.
Qualified him as a class chief.
Whatever categorization we do, the fundums are autonomous. And he now, Fonju reacted by saying he is the paramount leader of the people of Kushing.
And that nobody should tell another fund how to administer.
You see, now it has created some acrimonies amongst them. So I think we need to communicate.
Yeah, not to cut you short. What we are doing here, let's set the record straight. We are trying to look at and we are looking at how the communication around that event is ongoing.
It's always a cost problem. Thank you very much, Peter. It is a problem of communication break. So you heard something, and then you hear on social media. Okay, on social media. And what about that? Okay, Peter, but this is what I am reading. Sometimes you might not even be informed. And then sometimes they say, we are informed. And you see, in the reaction of the funds, the president of the Northwest Fund, he said, purportedly. It means you are not even sure, because it's purported or maybe suspected.
It's alleged.
Or alleged or presumed. Sure. Yeah. It means you are not even, you are not even sure of what you are saying. So that is why we're talking about maybe having a strong communications department to help them.
But the point is, it's not all about having communication departments, because most of these organs have communication departments, but do they listen to them?
Do they listen to them? Maybe.
The communication experts play their role very well?
Those things will tell you, okay, with that advice, please, can you call your friend? And then just to find out what happens. Yes. I'm not even sure one of them listened to the report that was done, or to any of the reports that were done. So that is why we are still talking about communication.
Communication, yeah.
Yes. So could tell, okay, call him, you post talk. I mean, that friendly camaraderie and so on. So no, masa na small tight na for no. Now that people forget about that bloggers, they just talk anything. But now, beyond that, we are seeing an aspect of someone's jealousy. You got the point. So because what does stake?
And for New Wilson also replied.
He replied, and he replied,
his reply also was very strong.
Yes, his reply was proportionate to the attack.
Yeah, to the attack.
Because he realized, and then his reply now was like telling you bullshit.
Yes.
I am a paramount leader of the. Look, Peter, in your village, in our respective villages, our phone or chief, whether you call him fifth class or 10th class,
he's still a chief.
He's a paramount leader of our village. He's paramount. That is to say, he rules all the chiefs or quarter heads. What is paramount? What is paramount? The supreme. He's our spiritual guide. He's our supreme leader of that land, of that clan. So whether the government categorizes him as 10th class, first class, and it makes some of our chiefs grow horns. We should be able to put these things clear to some of our chiefs. And you see, now it starts exposing a lot of things. Because now they will tell you, chiefs shake hands, whereas it's not to be so. Chiefs stand at the swimming pool and are looking at young girls swimming, which is not swimming. Maybe he needs a wife. That's why he went to the swimming pool to probably. But chiefs do this. Chiefs eat in public and so on, which is not supposed to be so. We are saying that if you expect respect, it should be proportionate. Now the CAP, they say, okay, here what another communication flaw that they say Jew wishes should return. The attributes and artifacts. And I ask myself the question, were they the ones who actually gave Jew Wilson those things? If Jew Wilson, for example, had gone to the House of Chiefs, say, I want to give it to a title, and this is a cap, they will give him a cap. And then he goes. If there's a problem, they say, bring the cap back. There is no patent right on that. So the artifacts is not coming from any palace. The artifacts are coming from the palace of Cushion. I'm not defending it. I'm just trying to state the facts. Well, sometimes when we make, okay, now let him bring those things, and where would they keep them? Because he bought those things. In fact, they fabricated it in Cushion. He could say, yes, we fabricated in Cushion Palace. That is how I look at it. So sometimes when we communicate, we should avoid, we should know the type of language we use.
Now, I want to ask, what impact can this incident have on the funds? Nwefu, we all understand the situation with it. Nwefu is almost inexistent. Some say it has been defunct. Now we have just the House of Chiefs that is trying to speak for the Northwest Funds, but some observers say the House of Chiefs is just a chamber within the regional assembly that has been created by the state, and it's not a body that speaks for all chiefs in the Northwest region. Now, what impact can such, disagreements, ping-pong fights over traditional titles have on the situation of funds in the Northwest region? At a time when we understand that the region is going through a lot, and these traditional rulers are called upon to really, take their place in ensuring that the region stands peaceful. But when we see the funds fighting in public over a traditional title, what impact can that have on the traditional setup?
Peter, already there is a conflict. It breeds conflict. That is evident. There is evidence. It breeds conflict between or amongst the traditional rulers, and well, those things can be addressed. So there's nothing in it. To me, I don't see that there's any problem. I don't see any problem. You understand?
So there's no call for
it's just like
alarm.
there's no cause for alarm.
Yeah,
but let me I'm just saying my things straight, right? Yeah. There's no cause for alarm. The alarm was even caused by bloggers. So bloggers have even put chiefs and blogger heads. So they should understand that this blogger, Master, this speaking for Kiwi here. Those are the type of things. Look at, they are putting us in conflict. No. Look at, it's just like we are in the newsroom when we are debating on trying to angle a subject, a story, and we are quarreling. And but by the time we leave the newsroom,
by the time we leave the newsroom,
we are at the restaurant, and then we are, and our objective is that we should have news, in, the evening, and have it as it was angled. Yes. That those small petty quarrels in the newsroom, it has no place. So anybody who is carrying that thing to it, they will talk. Honestly, I want to think that today they will talk. They must have spoken even. Yes. They must have spoken.
The House of Chiefs, the funds in Douala.
They must have exchanged
and
calls.
Even Fonju Wilson himself.
Yes, they must have exchanged calls. So those are little things. I have my man that you know, and let me even say good morning to him. Ndango, Mtumfo, Ndango. He's speaking for the people of Bengui.
Bengui.
Yes, Ndango Calvin, barrister Mtumfo. Or is it Tumfo barrister?
Yeah, Tumfo barrister.
Tumfo barrister, okay. All right. Tumfo barrister Ndango. Tumfo Aliko Ale is there. And many other Tumfo Samuel Eto'o. I think that
Samuel Eto'o is not in Tumfo.
Not in Tumfo.
Well, we have to know that.
So in Tumfo, Dr. Samuel Eto'o. And so. You see, traditional titles, Peter, before we get out from these, given to people with integrity. Yeah. People who have achieved. People who have contributed.
People who have social, impact.
Economic impact and even political impact.
I love the part of Fonju Wilson's paper. He called Eto'o the Big Nine.
The Big Nine and Pichichi. So it was like sending a missile to that
the person whom I count is not just
a Lord, and is making a lot of contributions socio-economic. Okay, his contributions in the sports, in the economic world, in society. He has given to Lakentini. He has given. I was reading a story yesterday, Peter. May I come very quickly to that? I was reading a story about Lisa T. Lisa T, you know Lisa T. So I discovered that, yes, actually, because in 2015 or so, Samuel Eto'o helped her. Yes. She was extremely sick.
When she was sick, yes.
When she was sick, she helped her. But those are the things we are talking about, right?
And the funny...
What was intriguing is that when they were pouring encomiums, they were pouring encomiums on Chantabia, rather than pouring encomiums on the person who did the report for Chantabia to see. And so one of our colleagues said, you people should have that intellectual honesty to say that this person did it. And the worst of all is that I was standing there. I didn't attend the ceremony. I was up, and the ceremony is going down. That they were distributing gifts and telling people. So you see, but I was happy because I saw the joy.
You played your role as a watchdog,
helping a family. And
telling a story that has impact.
I've done it too for Lake Nyos, and Chantabia has given assistance to those people. That is my joy. I don't need a medal for that. I don't need it. I don't need a cap for that.
If it comes, you have to wear, just like the two.
If it fits my head. Oh. If it fits my head.
Just like the two upcoming ones. Now, let's take a short break. When we come back, we delve into our newspapers. We kickstart with Cameroon Tribune in Central Africa. Cameroon Tribune headlines that 2025 will be a year of security and lots of challenges for the defense forces. And the paper highlights that at the time when Cameroon is tilting towards elections, the protection of people and goods and amelioration of equipment, as well as the realization of infrastructure, are some of the key issues which the military has to handle this year. This was unveiled during the presentation of New Year wishes to Joseph Beti Asomo, Minister Delegate at the Presidency in charge of defense. Yeah.
Well, this New Year wishes issue, first of all, to me, well, it is good, maybe sometimes. I don't know if you have organized yours yet. Well, it's good. So like we should review what we had, try to forge ahead. They say the What again?
The Defense and Security Forces 2025.
25.
Yeah.
It's a
year of security.
It's a year of security. Why? Because we have challenges for this year.
Yeah.
That is why, in fact, every year, of course, defense budget has to step up.
Yes.
Because the challenges are abound. We have elections, and the storm, cloud is, the climate is cloudy. But we don't pray for anything. Yeah. Right? Some people are already creating what I would call a pseudo conflict situation.
Which is what the National Communication Council has condemned.
Correct. Yeah. I did not even know that. So I think the defense and security forces will have a lot of work to do. But then it is not like, because when they say that it's not like it's a police state. No. It's not a police state.
It's a regalian duty.
It's a regalian duty. And don't forget that even during elections, they just move around, they stand from police station. Even there are conflicts in the police station. Yeah. They just come, they say, well, please. I remember I ran into conflict with some other, in fact, the CPDM guys. I ran into conflict with them. In one of the police stations, I was representing, what do you know, my party.
Yeah.
And I saw broad daylight theft. People collecting voters' cards, and then you see stuffing, giving people money to vote. Shouted. But the head of the election said, what will he do? I shouted alone. And there was almost an exchange of fists. Yeah. But the police was there, but he did not do anything. You understand?
He only called for calm.
He only called for calm. Because they have been trained to do that. Yeah. Right? Even when we used to have seminars with them, we have handled joint seminar sessions with them.
Yeah, with media and the forces of law and
order, so that they should understand, that aspect of rights without interfering. So I think that what the defense minister is saying is not like saying Cameroon is a police state. Of course, you know that Boko Haram is still there. You know that the Anglophone conflict is still there. There are a lot of killings. You know that crime waves, city crimes.
Yeah, city crimes
is surging, especially in Yaoundé. Especially in Yaoundé. So I believe they're going to do that.
Just reminded the body of what they have to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's look at another story here. Boosting rice production, 15 billion francs for Northwest and West regions. The amount of the rice value chain development project, which is expected to step up rice production in the country. We all know the situation about rice in Cameroon, with Cameroonians now going for the promotion, which is in place in town.
How much do they import rice? Last year, in fact, 2024, rice was imported for how many billions? Now, if you inject 15 billion, that you want to
develop the rice production chain. Is it sufficient?
How do you want to develop the rice production chain? Look at DOP. How do you start developing DOP now? Okay, are you creating Sancho or Semri? Are you opening new farms? Or you are providing, incentives, the technical know-how. You see, I don't understand. That thing is too confusing. Because we talk about injecting 15 billion. Now we are in 2025. How many ships are already anchored at the estuary that are already coming in with rice?
The rice terminal of the port.
The rice terminal. No, I don't know. There is how many ships are already at the terminal, and how many ships are still anchored, or how many ships have been moored at the threshold, the estuary, at Vuri, 54 nautical miles.
Nautical miles.
That will enter with another consignment of rice. So I think this rice issue is problematic. It is true. We might not have the necessary quantity. It is obvious. It doesn't mean that because we produce rice, we must not import, right? And we could equally import variety. It is normal. Varieties. The rice in Thailand is different from rice from China. It's different from rice from India, the rice from Pakistan, from Vietnam, and so on. It's a matter of variety and taste, right? But it should not be as if we will not develop our own sector. Our rice sector. We should develop our sector because we should encourage our own farmers and we should make money rather than depending entirely on imports.
On imports. Let's now look at the Sun newspaper. The Sun newspaper on its top story says that looks at decentralization and highlights that snail-like flow of additional council taxes is stalling municipal development.
That's CAC.
Yeah.
That's CAC. Additional council taxes is stalling development. That is true. Some councils are already crying. In fact, they have been crying all the time, and especially councils that are in those smaller councils too.
Yeah.
Those smaller councils, they are crying. So now they depend more on their on FACOM for their revenue. In fact, to strike a balance. So I think they should, if they want to, if they are talking about the decentralization, they should make sure that
effective transfer of resources.
Effective transfer of resources in record time. In record time. And you know, we are used to a system where we transfer resources piecemeal. Piecemeal, as if you have to cry. The mayor will tell you, I'm going to Yaoundé. I'm going to Yaoundé. Yeah, I'm going to Yaoundé. So you see, you hold the strings. No, we should be able to make sure these councils develop it. You say, okay, you are giving us power, let us manage our devolution, some of the powers. Let us manage it, or you take it, and then you start doing it for us. So I think they should review the way they are distributing those things.
And the Minister of Decentralization and Local Development, George Elanga Obam, is expected in the Southwest region for a week-long visit. And the Sun newspaper predicts that this issue will be one of the key points under discussion. Talking also in the Sun newspaper this morning, the dust is here to settle over the Bimbia slave trade site. Last week was very, very hot in the Southwest region, particularly with the Bimbia slave trade story. According to the Sun, elite population move for unity, insist on inclusive consultations. And according to the...
Yes, in fact, a lot of ink, too on the Bimbia issue. Why now? Why now? Bimbia historically was an independent state. And in fact, I think it's the biggest slave trade port outlet, in Cameroon.
Yes.
And one of the biggest
in Africa.
In African coast. Yeah. Okay. If they have another issue too of communication comes in there, Peter. When we're reading stories, they needed to communicate. Because we are in a country where until it goes off our hands, they will start trying to repair the damage.
The damage.
Right, the communication lapses. If they had explained to the people and to Cameroonians progressively what is going to be done and how it's going to be done, we will not be speculating that they want to sell our land. And the people of Bimbia have a right to say that land is not for sale. Just like the people of Greenland are telling Trump that land is not for sale.
It's not for sale. And the Greenland issue, Trump.
So you see, but we should communicate. When I say communicate, let the people know. Now, you are coming to, for example, you are bringing a project. Let me say anything. But okay, look at the pipeline project. Yeah. It was communicated along the line where the pipes were going to pass. And all the necessary
compensation mechanisms were taken for the population.
And all the necessary environmental impact assessments were done. Take the case of the route, this is what you call the auto route or the Broadway.
The motorway.
The motorway. I think the Minister of Public Works has already made a communique, or in fact, he has communicated to inform the people of the second phase that they will be compensated. This is how you understand. And so there should be a follow-up in educating and exchanging with the people. But if you don't do that, in the morning we just get up in our village and then suddenly we see some caterpillar standing. What is caterpillar coming to do in our village? What project is there? Maybe some dubious elites. Maybe some dubious elites are the one orchestrating such a move. So the people have a right to question, why do you want to bring this development? And what the counterparts, what do we gain? So by the way, they will sit. You don't like you are going, you sit in Yaoundé, you decide in Yaoundé, you come and pour it on us. No. So I say the people of Bimbia, if there was an uprising, it's because they were not informed.
Communication lapse
again. And so if they had been informed, they will ask questions. And the questions will be addressed. But the good news is that they want to sell their land. How?
And the person also said they wanted to sell their land also. It's another problem.
It's another problem. So I think the issue of Bimbia is, yes, it's going to, according to what is said, develop the area. It is true. Be a very attractive touristic site. Okay, we remember our brothers, our forefathers were carried, to the plantations in the West Indies.
One peculiarity about Bimbia is that every family has a story about Bimbia.
I think there are 4 major or 5 major families that constitute.
Every family has a story about Bimbia. That means all of their forefathers were taken as slaves, were forced as slaves.
As slaves, that's true.
So it means that in Bimbia, almost every house may have someone currently in the US or South America or North America who hails from Bimbia.
Of course, that is a fact. Yeah. That's a fact. Not only Bimbia, Victoria. And we should not even talk about Victoria, because Victoria, the name was given after.
Yes.
The original name for when you talk about people from. So you see, they have a strong attachment, just like the people of Freetown.
Freetown, yeah.
Yes. They still have strong attachment that way. So you cannot come, that is their village now. They came and dumped them there. So that is their village now, that is their town. So the land is not for sale, but we still insist that if development should come. Because sometimes, listen, Peter, you will hear they have signed, a presidential decree has been signed that they will open a university in Kumba, for example. It is only when the presidential decree has been signed, then they start looking for land, or they have even started, negotiating or lobbying for where land will be.
Where land will be.
Yes. But people should know there should be a public judgment. Call the village. The villagers should come and see it and say, but this is development coming to our place. This is, it will help us. The president of the republic, you should even, it's not like 1 or 2 chiefs or elites will go and be lobbying and say, give us a university, give us a college. No. Those things, if you say yes, they should give us, okay, we will give you. They want to give us. If they give us, what are we going to do? Which land are we going to give? It is from there. The people should be informed. Don't just come in the morning, they see caterpillar in the village. You don't know.
Or hear news that the minister is coming to inaugurate or lay the foundation stone for
the construction of I don't know what.
Now, let's look at Integration newspaper. Integration looks at the presidential election fever in Cameroon and says Paul Biya déjà en campagne. The paper believes that President Paul Biya is already doing campaigns. According to the paper, for the past 3 weeks, you have billboards in Yaoundé that are showing the merits of the President of the Republic at the time when the Electoral College has not yet been called for the presidential elections. And the paper is asking whether we are going to have anticipated presidential elections. You read the stakes on page 10 and 11 of Integration newspaper this morning.
I think Integration is right, you see, because you are giving the merits of President Paul Biya what for? After they went around, projecting a film of his achievements. You see, I think it will be very difficult. I wrote something that it will be very difficult to make an assessment of someone's regime, but we know. We are not saying that he has not, I'm not saying that he has not done something. Compared to, the yesteryears, there are challenges in terms of demography. Yeah. And so, but you cannot tell me, in fact, no one knows, because we are speculating on World Bank indices or figures, say Cameroon is about, I don't even know if it's 30 million or 35 million. Or so. But, there was a time we stayed, and the population stayed, they said 20 million, approximately 20 million. We stayed 20 million for 5 years, 20 million for 10 years. Population can be 20 million for 10 years. Even if we are doing...
and the statistic was done in 2005 and released around 2010.
It was not released.
Yeah.
It was never released till today. So, they are based on certain parameters to determine, of course, this issue of taxis, this issue of schools, hospitals, when they go, they travel. You say all those things, they pick those things from there. Now, the problem is that the CPDM cannot be manipulating Cameroonians to make believe that, President Paul Biya is, is the best. That thing is true. What Integration has written is true, is correct. I saw them in Yaoundé. The billboards are running. Are running for what? To please campaign message that they are passing across. Do you want to hear that they have already printed campaign materials?
well, that cannot be confirmed.
That cannot be confirmed.
Yes. But we know also that even opposition political actors are in some form of
campaign.
Yeah, backdoor campaigns.
We are,
even though not publicly.
No, they are.
At this point in time, any statement made by political actor
is a campaign language.
Yeah, it's a campaign language.
No,
because everybody is eyeing the election. So maybe the speech might decide to say, well, action speaks louder than words. Let's put ours for the public to see.
Yes, you are correct. Any statement that is made now, they will tell you, that's a political language. In fact, that's a campaign language. Whether it's a opposition leader or the president of the republic, you see, but it's true. But on a daily basis, the opposition has to hold the government accountable.
And the government also may decide that, okay, fine, that I want to also showcase what I've done, even though the public may not think that is enough.
Yeah. That is true, because take the case of the Gabonese strongman. I call him strongman because
Olegingema, General.
Yes, he was aligning some achievements, right, in a short spell, which is obvious. This is what we have done in 6 months. This is what we have done in 6 months. This is what we have done which means that he's already preparing his people to know that once I'm going in for elections.
So
compared to what one family did for 53 years or 54 years.
So obviously, I don't think that people have to just blame the ruling party, because they may just be doing what opposition are doing.
Let me ask you. So if you think if the chairman of the Social Democratic Front, Joshua Osei, puts his own billboard, will it not cause problems?
Well, that's left to be seen. I don't know.
On his own achievement.
That I cannot say, but that's left to be seen.
On his own achievement. Yeah.
Within the party, right?
Yes, we can go and buy space. This is what he has achieved 1 year as a party.
Agma Media is waiting for you, so please get there and buy some space. Agma Media is waiting for you there. We are now going to move to Lloyd Desire. It's getting very interesting here with some barroom discussions. Lloyd Desire says that the government and the paper profiles ministers who have spent more than 20 years in the same ministerial portfolio. You get the details on page 6 and 7 of the paper. Amongst them, you can see Dr. Madeleine Trente, the Minister of Commerce, Luc Magrambaga Tarana, the Minister of State, Minister of Higher Education, Professor Jacques Famen Dongo, as well as others.
Yeah, well, Peter, I see. I don't like to talk about that. The man who appointed them knows why he kept them. Yeah. Yes, so no comment on that. However, I think it's not the best.
All right, we take a short break. When we come back, we'll move to Nigeria. All right, for time constraints, we shall be going very, very fast in this last segment. The Punch newspaper says National Labour Congress faults fresh petrol price hike and says that the federal government is insensitive. Another issue of price hikes again in Nigeria,
it is going to affect,
in the fuel sector.
It is going to affect the economy very seriously. You know that the Naira has dropped considerably. And the Nigerians are already, in fact, they have been complaining for the past couple of months on the situation, and even asked that they should bring down the prices. President Tinubu has not been able to look at to come up with a formula on how to handle that. Don't forget the pressure that is coming to again from the absence of, in fact, we're talking about the rice, because rice, which is another capital, how do you call it, basic necessity.
Yeah, basic necessity.
On a daily basis. And we always talk, it's almost like all food insecurity is hitting Nigeria. Now with the price hike, it is eventually going to have a ripple effect. When you increase the price, you know what I mean?
Or fuel, transport will also go up, and that means that basic commodities as well.
So in fact, he should be able to come out with a formula to cushion the effect of that price hike, if at all it starts.
We look at the custodian. The custodian looks at Nana Akufo-Addo, now the former president of Ghana's first statement after he left office. He says that he has come and left office in peace, as Nana Akufo-Addo was speaking during a Thanksgiving event yesterday in Accra.
That is interesting. Though, let him leave now. He can sit and sleep 24 hours without any problem.
Without any problem.
Once in the crown, because at any time you can receive a phone call. Yeah. There's a problem here. There's a problem here. You know, you get to the office while you are just maybe 40. In just 4 years, you are completely gray.
Like Barack Obama.
Old. But now when you leave, come back, you see, look at George Weah.
Yeah.
I was watching a short video on him. He was playing Ludo.
He's not very playful.
He's playful. You see, you are purging that stress. And you see, he finds himself back into the community. Yeah. He doesn't need a bodyguard. Yes, of course, the bodyguards are there, but he doesn't need that too much of security.
State protocol.
State protocol, yeah. And everything. Embraces people, meet people. You see, the load with the presidency is not easy. Remember, there's one president who had to divorce with a wife. Yeah. Because the man said he's saving his nation. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not easy to save a people. I'm talking about President Putin.
Putin, yeah.
Putin is the president of the wife because the wife says he's not seen his husband. And I think this weekend, the man of Manchester City.
The coach of Manchester City.
They don't see him. And the man says he's working for them. But they need to see him because you're working for them. And I know of a case where a colleague was always very busy. And then the wife thought, they came and saw the man is not coming. What is happening? The man is deep into work. So I think once you have a responsibility like that, and that is why sometimes it's good to go and rest. Mm-hmm. He can even come back if he likes. If he likes.
Yes, he can come back.
He can come back if he likes. Mamad is coming back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he can come back if he likes. Some people say, no, I don't want to. There's a lot of rest.
Okay, without any transition, we'll move to Daily Monitor in Uganda because it has a story that can draw parallel with Cameroon. Daily Monitor says that 2026 kicks off and highlights that political parties say that the time allocated by the Electoral Commission for Uganda to register and update the voter details for the 2026 election is not enough. But Electoral Commission defends the set time frame. According to the paper, you read more to know about voters registers update, stakeholders rally and five. Yeah, it has a connotation with Cameroon.
But you see, that's always a problem. When you tell citizens to get registered, they have all the time. So, okay, now registration is going on because today.
Because the point is that the Electoral Commission usually will always take the. For example, in Cameroon, people always blame Elecam, whereas now the voter register has been open. You find people who are not doing.
That is what who are not doing correct. It. That is what we are seeing. From January to August 31st, you need to register. They'll close the electoral roll, polish it, and then produce the results of that year. From January again, they open it. People have every time, all the time on earth to do it. They don't do it. Now, at the end of the day, they start quarreling the Electoral Commission.
The Electoral Commission.
They start accusing the Electoral Commission. They will tell you my card is done. And some people don't give the information that is needed. Mm-hmm. You understand? And then you give your information during the time of elections or voting, you find yourself in another town. Then you start quarreling. No, I think sometimes citizens too should be conscious of what they should do. They have all the time to do it. Now, let us take the case before we wrap up. We have pressure. In Cameroon, President Biya might, in fact, it is obvious according to the text, call the election late June, latest July, because they tell you 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months, 90 days.
90 days.
Yeah, to the expiration of the
eventually it's going to be July.
Yes.
So people should be registering. You have January, you have February, you have March, April, May, June. And you have right up to, June 30th.
Yeah.
So you have